Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Pompa, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. How about a hand for Sean and Joe? I'm excited. I got a new ant farm for my apartment. I got this really bitchin' ant farm. You know, I didn't mean to get an ant farm. I just never washed my dishes. It's like a free-range ant farm. I recently had to call information. Man, I don't like calling information anymore because when you call information now, you don't speak to a live operator like a real human being. You speak to that damn computer, right? They could call them up. City and state. Sacramento, California. San Diego, California. Is this correct? You're like, no, Sacramento, California. San Francisco, California. And finally, out of frustration, you just try to hit like every other hard consonant. Sacramento, California. San Luis Obispo. And the deal is, if you want to talk to a live operator now, or a real human being, you just have to yell something that's completely incoherent. Because you know they're fucking listening. Because that's when they always get on the line. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. That's just Sacramento, you lazy bitch. Why don't you pick up the phone the first 6 fucking times? That traumatized the shit out of me. Just trying to find fucking Pizza Hut. Now, when I drive whatever speed the freeway is that I'm on. Like if I'm on the 60, I go 60. And when I'm on the 160, you should watch the fuck out. Let me kicking some ass. Well, real estate's taking a big shit. And I just got myself a duplex. But it's a mobile home duplex. You know, it used to be a triplex. And then one of my tenants, he took off with his unit. They went on my fucking equity. I got a new deluxe queen-size bed. Technically, it's a deluxe queen-size air mattress. But I'll tell you why it's so deluxe, because it comes with this pump, right? And you're like, so you don't have to blow it up yourself. And it's shaped exactly like a lady. And I hump it, and I go right to sleep. And then every 6 months, I flip it over. That's what it says on the label. On the labia label. Me and the old lady, we did a weird thing last New Year's. We decided we're going to take a nap, and then at midnight, we'd wake up and we'd make love. And that's how we were going to bring in the new year, right? So while she was sleeping, I filled her panties up with confetti. Because I figured at midnight I'll hit it, confetti will go flying everywhere. And this will be very romantic. But while she was sleeping, I guess she got kind of moist. So at midnight, there's just this big hunkin' piñata. And I hit it anyway. And there was pussy-flavored candy everywhere. We all benefited. we have a policy that if we fight, like we won't go to bed mad. You know, that's our big policy. If we fight, we won't go to bed mad. You know, and recently we got in this really gnarly argument, and we haven't slept for 2.5 fucking months. We got in a fight because she pees in the shower. Seriously, I think it's disgusting. Because I only pee while I'm taking a bath. Just try to warm up the water a little. But I'm evolving as a male. I used to be a player, and now I'm not. Because other players asked me not to play with them. But for instance, a few months ago, there's this very attractive woman. You know, she's slightly intoxicated. She propositions me for sex. And I go, look, you know, I can't. I'm married. And she goes, I know, I'm your wife. I go, look, I don't give a shit who you are. I do not fuck married chicks. I have never cheated on my wife. I've never cheated on my wife. And I'm not proud of it. It's not for lack of trying. I'm just not a fucking closer. I quit drinking booze almost. Now I'm what you call a social drinker. Which means if someone says they'll have a drink, I say, so shall I. I would like to have a drink also. I quit smoking pot. Seriously, I quit smoking pot. Because obviously, you know, I'm getting older and I can't remember where I hit it. I knew it was time to quit smoking pot when I got kicked out of my one-man band for not showing up to rehearsals. Anyways, I'm up one night on the devil's weed, and I'm watching this infomercial, or this public service announcement, and there are these children in these third world countries. You could adopt them for like $1.50 a month. I'm thinking, shit, man, I've always wanted kids, right? And what kind of scoundrel would I be if I didn't at least adopt a few of these children who were, you know, disenfranchised? To make a long story short, I missed a few payments. And I just got sued for $12 of back child support. What kind of shit is that? No good deed goes unpunished. Is what I have to say about that. I recently started collecting coupons. I like collecting coupons for when the homeless person comes up to me on the street and they want 50 cents to buy a cup of coffee. And I just go, here, take $1 off a whole pound of coffee. You have all kinds of coffee now. I had this homeless guy come up to me and he wanted me to give him $1 to buy beer. But I didn't give it to him. Because you know he's just going to use it to buy food for his family. How do I know he's a real beer drinker? What if he's wasting it on food or Sauvignon Blanc? Or, you ever been in your car and you just kind of get in your head and you start talking to yourself and you look around, you notice the other motorists are watching you? I think that's so embarrassing. Especially when you're having a really heated discussion and you're crying because you said something to yourself that you took the wrong way and you hurt your feelings and you start masturbating. My name is Gene Pompa, and in Spanish is pronounced Pompa. But I'm not Spanish, I'm Mexican-American. I'm an old school hardcore Chicano political activist. For instance, I still won't eat grapes. because of plight of the migrant farm workers. And I also won't eat raisins because the older migrant farm workers. That's how hardcore I am. And I also won't eat prunes. That's for a completely different reason. Although once I did go down on an 80-year-old. I think he was 80. Oh, it took forever to get here on the 5. You know, I feel bad for older male Latino actors. Because older male Hispanic actors, they always give them the same crappy line in every hacky movie. Like, you'll see the guy's son, and he'll die in a hail of gunfire. Then the father, he'll drop to his knees, and he'll go, "You don't understand. He was my only son." Which is so stupid, because what else is he supposed to say? "It's okay. I've got 2 other sons." Well, he was just the middle child. That would make it all right. When I was a younger man, I had this uncle in East LA, and he was this militant Chicano, right? Korean War veteran, still fancies himself a brown beret. And before I started school, he wanted to indoctrinate me with all his political ideals. So he tells me, "Mijo, what are you going to say the first day of school when the teacher asks you to stand up and introduce who you are?" And I said, "I'm going to say, 'Hey, everybody, my name is Gene. Everybody,' like that." He goes, "No, you got to say, my name is Gene Pompa. I am Mexican-American, but I am Chicano to the bone." It's all right, you know, hopefully I'll remember all that. Like, first day of school, a teacher calls on me. I said, "Yeah, my name is Gene Pompa, Mexican-American, but I'm a Chicano who'll give you the bone." And they gave me 2 weeks off. They're really nice at the university. I was at a Mexican restaurant. The guy next to me, he starts bitching at the waiter. He goes, "I'm sorry, I don't talk Mexican." I said, "You mean speak Spanish?" He goes, "Well, I don't talk Spanish." I said, "Yeah, well, you also fucking don't speak English. And you should make an effort to educate yourself so you can learn yourself to talk gooder." He's all, "Talk gooder. It's speak weller." I'm like, "It is." You know what you rarely see is a British cholo. "I say, old vato, let's go have some taquitos. Extra guacamole." You'll see a lot of British cholos. Latinos can be notorious for discriminating against one another. Like, if you're somewhat articulate or college educated, you'll get called names like a coconut or an Oreo. It means you're brown on the outside and you're white on the inside. So I developed these snappy comebacks for when other Latinos will call me names. Like the other night, there's these 2 hardcore cholos, right? And one of them goes, "Hey, you're a big stupid coconut." That's probably not the right voice. That would work better in a different joke. He was like a gay hardcore cholo. I said, "That's right, I'm a coconut. I'm nuts about being cocoa." That put him in his place. And then his friend goes, "Yeah," he goes, "You're an Oreo." I said, "That's right, I'm an Oreo. Why don't you lick my creamy middle?" And You can save the cookie outside for last. Oreo's a hard one. I gotta work on that one. I was fortunate growing up. I didn't deal with a lot of prejudice, as a Mexican American. Except for one time, I'm 10 years old. I'm with my best friend, Danny Anderson. We rode our bikes through a crosswalk instead of walking them. And the cops gave Danny a ticket for jaywalking, and they gave me a ticket for vehicular manslaughter. I thought that was very unfair. I was dating this Cuban chick, right? And this Cuban chick, she's giving me shit because I didn't speak fluent Spanish. And I tried to explain to her, all my grandparents came from Mexico to East LA in the early 1900s. My parents' first language happened to be English. And so I meet her dad. He gives me the same grief. And I said, you know what? Ask him how come he's been in this country for 30 years and he still doesn't speak English. And he said he was busy working 3 jobs to support his family. And I said, well, let him know if he learned English, you've only had to work 2 jobs. And he said, get the hell out of my house in perfect English. Shit. I was born in East LA, but I ended up growing up in this sort of middle class area, right, in Southern California called La Mirada. And it was about 80% white Anglo-Saxon Catholic, right? It was very Catholic, even more than it was Protestant. But nonetheless, so it was like 20% Mexican American, and most of us were like into skateboarding and stuff like that. And there was only like a dozen cholos, so we really didn't have enough to put together a decent-sized gang or whatever. So as Mexican American skateboarders, we would look at the cholos, and we'd be like, oh, those damn beaners. They're fucking enough for all of us, those damn beaners, right? Even though we were Mexican American ourselves. And so I had to go live with my dad for a while in Pico Rivera, or Pico Rivera, and it was predominantly Mexican American. And so my dad, when I come home, he goes, hey, how'd you like El Rancho? I said, too many beaners. He goes, you're a fucking beaner. I'm like, hey, man, I'm an American of Mexican descent. You and Mom are beaners. How dare you? Show some respect, motherfucker. Sometimes I use that term Hispanic, right? Although Latinos get mad at me, like I'm not cognizant that I'm using it. One night this lady tells me, I'm half Mexican and I'm half German. And we use that term Hispanic, I'm just totally offended. I said, well, first of all, you should only be like half offended. You damn beaner schnitzel. I don't need your beaner schnitzel problems. I got my own damn problems. Sometimes you get older, right? You want your children to have an appreciation for their ethnic culture, like you overcompensate. I made my daughter a burrito. She's like, Daddy, I can't eat this. It has chili on it. I said, Bianca, we're Mexican American. You need to go upstairs to your room and not come out till you're ready to eat mild to medium salsa. Now put down that damn ranch dressing. And you be a good Chicana. Which is really unfair, right? Because she's like 3/4 Mexican, right? And I'm full. And because her mom is half. Her mom is half Mexican and she's half German. I hooked up with that Beaner Sitzel chick. And we had a baby. We got married. We bought a house. Then we got divorced. She got the house. All I got was this fucking joke. Thank you for applauding my misery. we were having trouble in our sex life. Went to go see a sex therapist. Yeah, she recommended we incorporate the use of sex toys. Now, I don't know if you ever use sex toys, but they're not really toys. Any household item will work. So her favorite sex toy turned out to be a tube of toothpaste. No, it worked out great because now, for the sake of a better word, her squack always smells minty fresh. And I have 30% fewer cavities. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That worked out for everyone. I think they call it squack because when it gets all wet and delicious, it goes squickety squack. So I'm single again, right? And I have to hang out in clubs. I'm too old to hang out in clubs. I get insulted a lot, but I'm too dense and decrepit to even know when I've been insulted. Like I was at this club and this chick comes up to me, she's like, "How old are you?" I go, "I'm 47. She goes, "Oh, you look 36. I said, "Oh, well, thank you." She said, "I said you look dirty and sick." Oh, thank you. I hate being in clubs, because women try to get me to buy them drinks just because of our gender difference, right? I'm supposed to feel compelled to buy a woman a drink. I don't think that's fair, right? So now when I get approached, I just act like I'm really slow, right? Like I was at this bar and this chick comes up. "I'm really parched. I could use a cocktail. What's your name?" "They're my friends. All of my friends that I have." They call me Tapioca. She goes, "Oh, because you're so sweet?" I said, "No, come on, underwear, always sticky." So I go back to her apartment. And that's how I met my new girlfriend. See, it turns out nice at the end. We've been stuck on each other ever since. Oh, man. There's all this hype right now and all this awareness and, as it should be, I guess, about bullying, right? Bullying in this day and age, and it comes in a lot of different capacities and a lot of different levels. It could be social media or just someone who's overweight or whatever it is, or someone who's gay. And I'll tell you something. Bullying really does come in a lot of different angles. Like, for instance, if we go out on a date and you don't blow me, that's a type of bullying. I have this daughter. We're very close. Believe it or not, I'm the father of a daughter. And, no, we're very close. And so the lines of communication are wide open about everything, right? So recently she gets in the car and she's like, "Dad, what's a climax?" I was like, "Oh, fuck, man." I said, "Well, it's like the, crescendo of a book or a movie." Right, trying to evade the issue a little bit. And then I was like, "Well, it's also a euphemism for an orgasm." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like, "Cool, I handled that." And I kid you not, 2 days later, she gets in the car and she's like, "Dad, what's this dirty Sanchez?" I go, "Well, it's fucking racist." Which really isn't, but whatever. So I decided I was just going to tell her, right? I said, "Well, it's when two people are making gentle love and one person takes a finger scoop of poop and puts a mustache in another person like the Frito Bandito." But don't quote me. You might want to ask your mom. And while you're at it, hit her up about a rusty trombone. What was her specialty? Or an angry dragon. You guys know what an angry dragon is? Angry dragon is when a girl's blown and you box her ears and cum comes shooting out of her nose like a very angry dragon. It's on Wikipedia, I think. I don't know. I caught wind of it. Shit. It sucks getting older, though. It really does. There was a time, I kid you not, in the middle of the night, my penis would wake me up just because it would have a random fucking erection, right? And now that I'm older, my penis wakes me up in the middle of the night because it's snoring too loud. Apparently it has sleep apnea, and I have to get it a CPAP machine. If I want to get a restful night's sleep. I recently had to file bankruptcy. Seriously, I recently had to file bankruptcy. I'll tell you what's great about filing bankruptcy. Like, I no longer worry about identity theft. I give away my PIN numbers, my social security number, my mom's maiden name. I don't give a shit. If you can open up an account with that crap, good luck. Like 2 weeks after I filed bankruptcy, some guy stole my identity, and he actually tried to bring it back. I'm like, fuck you, dude. That's you now. Finders keepers. Maybe you could open up a prepaid credit card. You could help reestablish our credit. Mr. Pompa. Sometimes when I get really bored, I like to take out the automotive section of the classified ads and just randomly call people up that are trying to sell their used cars. I go, hi, I'm calling about that 1989 Toyota Tercel with the BBS wheels and the tinted glass, 3,500 or best offer. Yeah, I was just calling to tell you I'm just not interested. I'm just not in the market for a big piece of shit right now. But thank you for asking. You can do that with anything. Like if you see a sign for a lost pet, you go, hi, I'm calling about that lost cat, the striped tabby with the white paws. Yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere. Where is that cat? It's driving me bananas. We gotta find that fucking cat. Don't get me wrong, I love animals. Both my dogs are rescue dogs. My cat is a rescue cat. And my girlfriend is a rescue girlfriend. I went down to the shelter. Obviously, I could have went to a breeder. But I went, no, go to the shelter. She started licking me through the fence. I brought her home that night. We made love. Brought her back the next day and put her to sleep. When I was 18 years old, one of my older brothers, he takes me aside and tells me that he's gay. So I call the police. I said, I need to send over a cop car. My brother is a homosexual. The lady's like, sir, we can't send over a cop car just because your brother is gay. I said, please, he loves a man in uniform. And it's his birthday. I would like it to be a surprise. Because he's my brother. When I was 17, my dad decided it was time for us to share a case of beer, right? And a fifth of tequila, like some sort of rite of passage. So I drink this case of beer and this fifth of tequila with my dad, and afterwards he gets all fucked up, and he wants to fight me. He's like, "Come on, you little puto." I'm like, puto? That doesn't sound very friendly. Father. What happened to hey there, little bear? Oh, the long face. And I'm thinking, shit, man. You know, I'm 17, he's 62. I'm like, shit, I'll fight you, motherfucker. I'll fuck you up. And I started wailing on him, right? And after that, he never wanted to party with me anymore. He's like a party pooper. I was at this party, and this guy in front of me, he started smoking crack, right? And I don't know this dude. He started smoking crack. And then his crack pipe breaks. And I'm trying to be nice, but, you know, I don't really know proper crack etiquette. So I go, hey, man, if you go in the kitchen, you get some foil, you could fix your crack pipe. He goes, I can't because foil has a lot of chemicals in it. And that might fuck up my lungs. Man, that's some good crack you have there. I was reading this article about these date rape drugs. Man, these terrible date rape drugs. I'll tell you something. Those aren't any good. I took a couple. Man, I didn't get raped by anybody. What a ripoff. I'm laying naked on the kitchen floor all night. I'm waiting patiently. I woke up 2 hours later and I'm being cleaned by a cat. That was weird. The first couple of times. I called that lady up. I'm like, hey, I found your fucking cat. You got a frisky cat on your hands. I had to go shopping today, right, to get some boots, because my boots are getting really thrashed. I'm telling you something. I can't believe how difficult it is to find a pair of men's classic black boots with just a little bit of a high heel and an open toe. Can't buy those anywhere. I went to J.C. Penney's to get my boots. I don't know if you've been to J.C. Penney's lately, but they got Starbucks coffee shops inside J.C. Penney's now. I went to a Walmart. Inside, they had a McDonald's. And inside that McDonald's, they opened up a Burger King. And inside that Burger King, there was a photo mat. And inside that photo mat, there was a J.C. Penney's with a Starbucks inside. They took that too far. I did a stupid thing. I go to the supermarket. I buy this frozen pizza. It's on sale for like $5. I go to the check stand. They charge me $10 because I got the wrong pizza. So now I have to go back. Yeah, I need to return this frozen pizza. She's like, well, you have to go to customer service. So somehow I lost my receipt from the check stand to customer service. So I go over there. I'm like, yeah, I need to return this frozen pizza. And the guy's like, well, you have your receipt. And I panicked. I said, it was a gift. And I think it's defective. This pizza should be hot. Your pizza is fucking freezing. What a shithole you run in here. Who's your boss? I like shopping at Nordstrom. That's one of my favorite stores. I like Nordstrom's. You guys ever go to that store? It's a pretty good store, right? Sometimes I'll go over there, sometimes I'll go over there on a Sunday afternoon, right? And then I'll go over to the Clinique counter. And I'll say to the lady behind the Clinique counter, excuse me, I have a question, but it's more of a gardening question. What's the best lotion to use if I'm gonna whack off on my ficus? I'm doing some gardening around the house. I tried to live with my girlfriend for a while, right? Didn't work out. We'd argue all the time. I know couples argue, it's no big deal, but like we drag in these innocent bystanders and third parties that had nothing to do with it. Like one day the cable guy comes to the door. He's like, "Hi, is the man of the house here?" She's like, "The man of the house? No, but the insensitive asshole is." So I'll go get him. Then she comes back all nice. "There's someone at the door for you." I'm like, "Okie dokie." He goes, "Hi, are you the insensitive asshole of the house?" I said, "Hold on a second. Honey, it's for you. It's the broomstick salesman. The fucking witch." I'm a heterosexual male, which means by virtue of nature, I just want to weasel my way into sleep with any female I possibly can, even if we're just friends. Like a guy will have a female friend at his house, it'll be time to go to sleep, and she'll be like, "Where should I sleep?" Like, "Well, you should sleep right here in the bed with me." And she'll be like, "No, I don't, come on, we're adults, we're mature, we can sleep in the same bed." And she'll go, "Okay." Then around 3 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up and you're taking off her shirt. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "It's hot in here." "I'm trying to help you." "Well, I'm not hot." "Well, you will be when I crank up the heater." Yeah, I mean, boiling fucking hot. I read this article in USA Today. It said that a man's number one fantasy is to be with like 2 women at once, right? That's a man's number one fantasy according to USA Today. So, to be with 2 women. What did I say? Did I misspeak? I didn't say it's a man's number one fantasy to be with 2 dudes at once, right? What the fuck's in that Patron, peyote? Did I? All right, let's start from the beginning. I read this article in USA Today that a man's number one fantasy is to be with 2 women at once. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's dudes where it's 2 guys at once, but whatever. That's a different argument, or conversation, rather. So I read this article, and I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, "Hey, I read this article. They came up with a really good idea. You, me, and another girl will get together, and then we'll all have sex around the exact same time." She's like, "I am so not interested in that." I go, "Come on, you please be a good sport." So she has a change of heart. She's okay. I'll have a 3-way, you, me, and another girl, but afterwards, you better seriously consider proposing to me. I said, "All right, that sounded fair, right?" So we had the 3-way, and like a month later, she's like, "Hey, aren't you gonna pop the question?" And I go, "Look, I gotta be real honest with you. I am not that comfortable marrying a lesbian." I've never been with a hooker, right? Seriously, I've never been with a hooker. About 10 years ago, I'm in Vegas. This friend of mine tells me, "I'm with hookers all the time. No matter what they charge, I only offer them $100. Take it or leave it. I always get something." I'm like, "Cool, I'm gonna try that." So I'm at the bar, there's a prostitute there. She's like, "Hey, do you want to go out on a date?" I said, "All right, what's the deal?" She said, "It's $350. And I got all nervous, I forgot what I was supposed to say. And all I could come up with is, "I can't, because my mom only gave me $100 to spend on whores." So I've been with the same woman now for a little while, believe it or not. So to spice things up, we have to do a lot of role playing. So sometimes she'll come to the door dressed as a hooker, right? I'll take her in the bathroom, I'll make love to her in the shower, I'll leave $100 on the bathroom sink. Then I'll go in the living room, I'll put on my pimp outfit, and I take the money back. I go, "Hey man, you're short, bitch. Where is the rest of my fucking money?" I'm gonna let you blow me for the difference. Because it's your first day and you're new. First day's always awkward. Sometimes I'll do role playing with my neighbors. I'll go next door. I'll say, hi, my name is Gene Pompa. I thought I should come over here and introduce myself. I'm a registered sex offender. And I was just wondering if anyone here wanted to register to have sex with me. Because I'm certified. All right, if you change your mind, I'm right next door. And I'm also captain of the neighborhood watch. So you see me lurking about. Don't be alarmed. But I'm trying to be a better Catholic. So last year for Lent, I gave up drinking for 40 days, right? Seriously. And then in the midst of this, I got caught one of those sobriety checkpoints. So I was being like an hour late to my gig, and I was really mad. So I decided I was going to pay him back when it was my turn. I was just going to pretend I was wasted, right, or fake that I was drunk. So the sheriff comes to the car. He's like, sir, have you had anything to drink? What am I having, a vodka? With just a little tiny splash of cranberry, please. He goes, no, I didn't ask you what you wanted to drink. He goes, I asked you, have you had anything to drink? I said, well, it would be better if you just made it all vodka. Fuck the cranberry. So he basically got the car right for the field sobriety. Asked me to touch my nose. I just grabbed my crotch. I got you, you little rascals! Or medium-sized rascals. So he makes me blow into the breathalyzer. He's like, dude, you just blew .0000. What the fuck? I go, I know you wasted an hour of my time. How's it feel, motherfucker? Hey, you guys have been great. Thank you very much. Thanks for making it a great night. Cheers. Thank you, Sacramento. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.